All right, Shalom. First and foremost, started by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. And this video is inspired by Elder Apostle Gabar's video that he did. And he's going into, I guess there was the, it's kind of like a depiction that's supposed to represent Great Millstone. And I guess this was their way of being facetious and basically sending shots at Great Millstone, with this image right here. This is supposed to, I guess, be an insult. Where you got men with Bibles and they're draped in robes, and it doesn't look fashionable, because we know that those men, they pride themselves on their image. Their image is all about, sophistication and, glamour. And that's why they wear the royal colors, the gold and the purple, and that's pretty much like their gimmick. All right. And they look down on any Israelite camp that's not, bringing in a bunch of money, that's not commercial and successful like they are, just that overall attitude. All right. And that's, far from humility, which the Most High, that's what he deals with. He deals with the humble, not with the proud. Right? He deals with the lowly, the meek. So anytime they send shots at us and in this regard, trying to basically say that we're bums and we don't know how to dress and this, that, and the third, they don't even understand that they're really mocking the Most High. Because first, let's deal with that. Let's get this scripture first and foremost. This is Proverbs 17:5. And this makes you wonder, do these guys really, do they really read the scriptures? How could they throw these type of insults out, which, we're not affected by any of it. It's funny, but it's like these dudes have no self-awareness when it comes to the scriptures and the things that they're doing. I understand that, these guys are, they stay in their feelings because we get on them. We stay on them when it comes to the doctrine. We can point out a lot of holes in their doctrine, and, it gets embarrassing at times. So the fact that they can't really, there's nothing for them to say because they know that we're right in the spirit. So this is what they have to resort to. All right. So let me get this verse. All right. You think that they would know the scriptures. Proverbs 17:5, it says, "Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished." All right. So the first half of this verse is really what they're doing. All right. Let me read that in another translation. And this is Proverbs 17:5 in the NLT. It says, "Those who mock the poor insult their maker." All right. And as a nation, we're poor. Israel altogether is a poor people. Matter of fact, that's was that Zephaniah. Let me see if I could. I think it's Zephaniah 2, or it might be 3. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is Zephaniah 3:12. This is what I wanted. And it says, I will also leave in the midst of the an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. Which they send shots at us for actually trusting in the true name of the Lord. They actually make mockery of that. But hey, we're in a better position because we actually not only know the name, but we trust on that name. We have respect unto that name that we even defend it. Those dudes, they don't have any respect for the name of the Lord. So not only do they not have any respect for the Lord, but they also mock the poor by sending those type of shots, at us, calling us the bum camp. And, years ago, he referred to us as derelicts and all that. So those dudes really pride themselves on, their image, and we know the Lord told us that, life doesn't consist of the things in which a man possess. So the hell with, earthly riches. It's about, being rich towards Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, let me get James, the 2nd chapter. Now, mind you, let me go to the NLT on this one. Now, mind you, this is the same guy, right? This is what he said a few years ago. This is a tweet on X that he posted, and we got on him even back then. This is a statement from Nate. He said, "The way you dress determines what God you serve." And it was like, are you kidding me? This dude this is inside of the mind of a straight up Pharisee. And I'm not talking about the believing Pharisees, the hypocritical Pharisees that the Yahushua was cursing out in Matthew the 23rd chapter, right? In which Apostle Gabar had, he went into that, right, in his lesson. And we always bring that chapter out, because these dudes, they, you can just read it and picture these dudes, the IUIC, mainly their leadership, straight up hypocritical, man. So, it's straight up all around hypocrisy, and they're focused on the outward appearance because that's, the image that they want to sell to the people. People are really sold off of symbolism and imagery. They like the outward appearance of things. That's how Jake will actually judge you. Like when it talks about how in the Apocrypha Sirach, the 13th chapter, how, when a rich man speak, the people will listen and they extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, "What fellow is this?" So our people have a respect of a person's mentality. You have to have the look in order for Jake to believe you or listen to you. All right, the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes 9, the poor man's wisdom is despised. They don't want to hear it from you. If you're not draped in the latest fashion or a luxurious brand. When it tell you in Revelation, which also the elder apostle went into, is how for a certain period of time that the prophets were going to prophesy in burlap or sackcloth. All right. And it was the attire that they wore that symbolized mourning because, the prophets, they would get messages and warnings from the Most High of evil that was going to come to Israel. So the prophets back then, known as the seers, they would pop up on the scene after they received the message from the Most High and give warning to Israel, and they would be dressed in sackcloth. All right, it wasn't luxurious to be seen in that type of apparel. You wore it because you were in mourning. You sometimes they would even rent it. Okay, and what do the scriptures say about being in the house of mourning versus the house of feasting? Because IUIC, they do a lot of feasting over there. They push marriage, and they like to showcase and highlight You know, there are events that they do where it requires them to dress in, you know, fancy attire. You know, matter of fact, let me get let's get Ecclesiastes. So the thing is, so if you dress in sackcloth, which the Lord said the prophets will wear, right? What God do they serve? You know, because it doesn't, you know, when you dressed in sackcloth, it doesn't look like you're dressed in you're draped in luxurious garments. All right. You're not going to be dressed like you live in a palace. So what God would those prophets be serving? And that's, you know, a reply to that statement that he made a few years ago. The way you dress determines what God you serve. So what God do we actually serve then? All right. You play games with the name of the Father and his Son. So what God do you serve? What is his name and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? And why, you know, play games with it? So this is Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 2. And it says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Okay. So if we're wearing the apparel of men who would be a part of the house of mourning, then the scriptures say that that's actually better. You know, we're actually more wiser because we understand. All right, we're in low conditions. We're still under the curse. And we know that trouble is ahead. We're getting ready to go through a time of trouble that, you know, has never been since the world was made. So why wouldn't we be dressed in that attire, right? Verse 4, it says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. All right. And, you know, they show you all the time that they're actually fools, especially with them constantly changing the doctrine up. And you can look beautiful outwardly, but you displaying through your actions and through the doctrine that you teach that you're really naked and wretched and blind. You're really destitute in the spirit. But to make up for that, you know, this is where the extracurriculars come in, the gimmicks. So if this is how you want to insult the men of the Lord, then that's cool. But people can look at this and judge for themselves based off of what the scriptures say. You know, and we laugh because, you know, for years they called us bums and, you know, like, you know, we're just a bunch of men who don't live in homes, right? Like, you know, we don't have, you know, clothes. We don't have shoes. We don't have our own transportation. How do we get to camp? You know, where do we get the money for the cameras so we can, you know, stream live at camp? You know, the cameras that we use at home to stream live when we doing our live sit downs at home or live classes. You know, so these dudes, you know, they make mockery, but they have no idea that they're embarrassing themselves. And their zombies eat it all up. And they don't even give question to, you know, what these dudes be teaching. So let's now let's go to this is the chapter that I want to go to. This is James 2. And I'm gonna start at 1, and it says, my dear brothers and sisters, how can you excuse me. It says, my dear brothers and sisters, how can you claim to have faith in our glorious Lord Yahushua Mashiach if you favor some people over others? For example, suppose someone comes into your meeting dressed in fancy clothes and expensive jewelry, and another comes in who is poor and dressed in dirty clothes. When they had their Passover, they also have a fashion show, which I don't see how you can do that on a solemn feast day like the Passover. A straight up fashion show. They should be doing what the hell they want to do. But they have the nerve to judge others as far as their appearance. It says, if you give special attention and a good seat to the rich person, but you say to the poor one, you can stand over there or else sit on the floor. Well, doesn't this discrimination show that your judgments are guided by evil motives? Like they wouldn't want to be seen with somebody that dressed, with basic garments. They would think that that's, they don't want to be involved or seen, with that type of, because they're looking at people from the outside and they care about how people view them. They care about people's judgment and opinions about them. You think we care? No, we only care about pleasing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because that's who we serve. That's who we're going to answer to. All right, the hell with this world that's getting ready to get judged. But they care. So if somebody dressed like us, wearing basic garments, that wouldn't fly. You would not be allowed to their Passover. They'll turn you around. If you didn't purchase one of them, expensive garments that they require to wear, you would not be allowed to come to their Passover. All right. So, hey, John the Baptist, he dressed in rough attire. All right. Camel's hair, that was his attire. And he dwelled in the wilderness. So he didn't look super clean. But he was, his job was to cleanse you, through baptism. But they would have judged him. It says, listen to me, dear brothers and sisters. Hasn't the Most High chosen the poor in this world to be rich in faith? Aren't they the ones who will inherit the kingdom he promised to those who love him? Yeah. He chosen those that are poor in this world, but that are rich in faith. What he told the church of Smyrna, I know thy works, and your tribulation and your poverty, but thou art rich. Because they were rich in faith. They were and they were on fire. All right, they wasn't lukewarm like the church of Laodicea, who actually was a church that actually built their town from their own wealth. They actually had riches, the Laodiceans, and they were super puffed up that they was able to rebuild after a devastating earthquake that ruined their city. They used their own wealth to fund the rebuilding. So they acted like they wasn't really in need. That's why the Lord said, they say that they have no need of anything, but you are wretched and blind and naked and destitute. Because them dudes, over there, they wasn't really on fire like that. But those that were of the church of Smyrna, they were poor, but they was on fire. Okay. And spiritually, they had on their white garments. They were, So the Lord had good things to say about the churches, and he also had, some of the bad. So these dudes have no idea, man. So if this is meant to mock us, which I'm pretty sure it is, then that lets you know that their judgment is totally off. And they don't realize that they're being wicked. And the Most High, he sees it all. So if y'all thought this was funny, I wouldn't do too much laughing about that, because you're insulting your own maker. And the Lord said that He would have prophets that would be draped in sackcloth. All right, because the true prophets, they're going to be in a house of mourning. So, hey, y'all, hey, at the end of the day, woe to you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you that are full, for you shall be hungered. Or woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation. And they that are last shall be first, and the first shall be last. So I'm gonna end off with that, and this is just my response to this video. And hopefully this was edifying. Let me give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.